What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 7 of the FREQ Talks Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Feldman. Today, we're going to talk about something a little bit different. Today, we're going to talk about something that is very near and dear to me myself, because I've seen tremendous growth when I implemented what needed to be implemented in order to achieve the results that I wanted. We're going to talk about goals. Okay, so what do I mean when I say goals? So anybody who starts something, anybody who starts anything has an end goal in mind, okay? What I mean by that is when I started this podcast, I started it with an end goal of I want to get more information out to our members, to our potential members, to people in the Charleston area. I wanted to be able to have a platform in order to speak to people, in order to get to know people a little bit better, coaches, members, other people in the fitness industry, in the fitness community here in Charleston. But my end goal was that I wanted to be able to branch out and, reach out to people remotely, North Carolina, Georgia. I know some people in Florida. I know some people in California. I know some people in Boston, right? So the opportunity to be able to reach out to them and speak with them about things that they've done, things that they've come across, their journeys, their paths, their struggles. That's been kind of my end goal in starting this podcast. We're not quite there yet, right? So it's steps and it's actions that get me to that end goal. Okay. Same thing in, if you're starting a business, your end goal is that you can become financially stable enough that you no longer need a full-time job, right? You can support yourself through your personal entrepreneurship. If you start college and if you go to college, your end goal is to be able to get a higher paying job and have more lifetime value, right? More income over the course of your lifetime than if you were to go from high school straight into some sort of a career field or some sort of a job. And it's the exact same thing in fitness. In fitness, when you start your fitness journey, when you join a gym, when you join an exercise program, when you join a coaching program like we have at Frequency, you have an end goal in mind. For most people, that end goal is, they want to lose body fat. They want to build muscle mass. They want to be healthier. They want to be around longer for their children. They want to be a role model for their children. Those are very common goals that we come across when speaking with potential clients, potential members that want to come into and join our gym. Okay, but a goal is very short-minded. A goal only lasts for so long before that motivation that you have that made you join kind of runs away, right? So motivation only lasts approximately, 2 weeks before you're not seeing the results right away. It takes time. And then in order to reach that end goal, you have to continue to put in the work, continue to put in the effort. And those are the actions that you take that get you to the results that you're looking for. They get you to the results that you're aiming for, your end goal. Okay, so this one's probably going to be a little bit difficult for some people to hear, but it needs to be said. Okay, so your goal is your goal. Everybody has their own specific goal, but the results that you achieve is directly attributed to the actions that you take, right? So nobody else can perform the actions for you. If you have a coach, if you have a mentor, if you have colleagues, peers, coworkers, whatever, who are on this journey with you, they can help guide you. They can help steer you. They can help motivate you when motivation starts to dip and motivation starts to become more fleeting, but they can't actually perform the action for you. Okay. Like nobody else can come in and record this podcast and edit the podcast and upload the podcast for me. I have to do it myself. Those are my action steps in order to reach my end goal. It's the exact same thing in your fitness journey. If you're trying to lose body fat, gain muscle mass, nobody can go into the gym and lift the weights for you. Nobody can go into the gym and do the cardio for you. Nobody can meal prep for you. You have to do that yourself, right? I've had discussions multiple times. I do nutrition coaching at the gym, and I've had multiple discussions with multiple clients about the actions that they're taking. We'll do, weekly check-ins or bi-weekly check-ins, kind of depending on what they're looking for and what they need in order for, accountability, in order for them to reach their end goals and achieve the results that they're looking for. And so many times it's come up where, they meal prepped and they ate for 2 days, 3 days, maybe 4 or 5 days. And then the weekend hits and they go on benders and they go eat whatever's in sight and they go to the bar and they drink and they go eat their way through Costco and just like so many of those things that throw them off track. And it's those actions that keep them from achieving the results that they are looking for. Okay. I mean, I had a very similar situation a couple weeks ago. Um, I hired a nutrition coach. I do nutrition coaching myself, but the primary goal of the members and the clients that I work with is they want to lose body fat. I'm trying to actually build lean muscle right now. So I know the basics behind it, but exactly how many calories should I be eating? How much of that should be protein versus carbs versus fats? Is there specific foods I should avoid? Specific foods I should, kind of migrate towards a little bit more? Those are kind of the things that I wanted to learn. So I hired a nutrition coach, and a couple weeks ago I had a really, really crazy busy week. And 2 days, only 2 days, and only 2 meals total. I ate out. So one time I was working until 9:30 at night, and I didn't have any food prepped, and I didn't feel like cooking. I was tired. I was unenergized. So I stopped and I got some Chick-fil-A on the way home. When I did my check-in, I posted that and detailed exactly what I ordered, what I ate, and tracked all my macros, and my calories weren't even that far off, but my fats were really high and my protein was a little bit low. And then, a few days later, I had a really long day. I was on my feet for 12 hours coaching a bunch of athletes through a competition. And when I got home, I was tired. I was exhausted. Again, I didn't have any food prepped. I didn't have any food ready to eat. And, I ordered delivery, and it was, a local pub that has, really good burgers, really good grilled chicken tenders. So I made sure that I still got my protein in, but, I ordered fries and so I ordered out, and my macros were again way off, and I again documented it and added in the comments section exactly what I ordered and why I ordered it and what I did. And, when my check-in was due, I got an email from my nutrition coach that, you know, didn't quite berate me, but definitely like laid it out on the line. That was like, hey, you have goals. This does not help you meet your goals. The actions that you are taking are not advantageous to the goals that you are trying to achieve. And that really struck home with me. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to record this particular podcast, is because, even somebody like me who's pretty dialed in 95% of the time, like if I'm not dialed in 100% of the time, I know that my results are going to take me longer to achieve. It's going to throw me off. If my goal is to achieve a certain aesthetic by a certain time frame, I need to be really dialed in inside of that time frame in order to make sure that the goals are achievable, that the actions that I'm taking push me towards the results that I'm looking for. Right? It's the exact same way in the gym. If your goal is to lose body fat, you're probably either not eating enough or you're eating too much. Okay, it's super common. Everybody does it, and I've had discussions with multiple clients over the last 4 or 5 years that have laid out exactly why eating too little causes you to not burn as much body fat, right? And could potentially cause you to store additional body fat and burn more muscle mass. Why, if you're not prioritizing strength training at the gym, you're not going to be able to build muscle mass and burn body fat as efficiently as if you did prioritize strength training. And I know I 100% completely understand that strength training and loading weights on a barbell and grabbing a heavier dumbbell, like that's not everybody's goal. No, let's be real. Like we're not going to a high level fitness competition. We're not going to the CrossFit Games here, right? We're regular athletes. We're regular members with full-time jobs and 9-to-5s and kids and families and so much other stuff going on in our lives that we don't have the time or the energy to put into what is required to be on that level. But we all want to look better, right? We live in a beach town. We all want to look better. We all want to, be able to go to the beach and take our top off if we're a guy, or rock that two-piece if we're a lady. And it takes a lot of effort to get to that point where your results align with your goals. And the only way to do that is to ensure that the action steps that you are taking align with the results that you are achieving for and the goals that you have in mind, those end goals. Right? So this one's a little bit tough to get across to people, primarily because we all go to the gym pretty regularly. We all work out pretty regularly, 4, 5, 6 days a week, where we're in there, we're sweating, we're pushing hard, but we're not achieving the results that we want. And primarily it's going to come down to you're not lifting heavy enough. You're not adding enough weight onto the bar. You're not stressing your body enough in order to push an adaptation, push that change, that anabolic change that builds more muscle, which helps you burn more body fat, right? Or you're eating poorly, or you're really dialed in for 5 days of the week, Monday through Friday when you're at work, and when you have your regular gym schedule and it's that work week, but then the weekend comes around and you go drink and you go party and you go eat whatever's in sight. And that just doesn't align with your goals. So it's your goals and the results that you get from your goals are directly attributed to the actions that you take in order to take one step each day towards those goals. Okay, so if you're working with somebody, if there's somebody that you trust, that you've brought on board to either be a mentor or a coach or help you with nutrition or help you with strength training or anything like that, like you have to take into account the expertise and the amount of time and the amount of knowledge that they have obtained and attained over years and years and years of applying it themselves, right? Like I used to be very out of shape. I was very overweight. I didn't track what I ate. I didn't go to the gym. And it was through slowly, concisely adding in workouts, adding in exercise, dialing in nutrition, one step at a time, getting to a point where now I'm much more comfortable with where I'm at. I still have goals. I still have different goals. But at one time, my sole focus, my only goal was to get under 200 pounds. That was it. So I did what I needed to do in order to get under 200 pounds, right? Now I'm sitting pretty steadily at about 175 and I'm trying to build up. And now I'm struggling with that. So I hired a nutrition coach. I brought somebody on board who is a professional in helping people build more muscle and do it in a lean, clean way without putting on a bunch of additional body fat. And I'm working with him and I do weekly check-ins, and that's where we're at with that program, right? So I've taken the action step. My first action step was to hire a coach. My second action step was to work on dialing in my nutrition so that I'm not losing it 2 days out of the week. So I'm not completely blowing it out of the water 2 days a week. And it all just comes down to taking the steps, keeping that end goal in mind, because motivation does leave you. It only lasts for so long before things change and you have to find a new way to continue to progress towards your goals, right? So it's not always going to be the motivation. It's not always going to be the change in the mirror, because that could take time. It's not always going to be the weight on the scale, right? Sometimes it's just keeping that end goal in mind, having faith and trust in the process, and taking the action steps every single day that are going to take you one step further towards your goals, as opposed to one step away from your goals. Right? So keep this in mind as you progress through whatever it is that you're trying to do, anything that you start in the future, anything that you're, any sort of a goal that you set, that your goal is achievable. It is obtainable, but it takes action steps and it takes patience and it takes a lot of work to achieve that goal. And the results will never come if the action steps that you're taking do not directly align with what that end goal is. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. I really just wanted to come in. This is actually the second time I've recorded this one. I really didn't like the first one. I just felt like I was ranting a lot and I really didn't want that. So I came in and I re-recorded it, and I'll let you guys know if I'm happier with this one or not. But thanks for tuning in to this TED Talk on goals, actions, and results. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Have a good one. Hey, what's up? Thank you for checking out this episode of the FREQ Talks Podcast. If you found this interesting, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so that you get notified every time we upload a new video. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.